Working with so many rescued rabbits over the years, I've learned that there's a part of care and handling that most people don't know anything about. Once you learn about that part of the world of rabbits, your entire perspective changes. Working closely with rabbits from all different backgrounds, different sizes, different breeds, different life experiences, especially rabbits that come from harsh beginnings, you learn something early on. You cannot force a rabbit to trust you. You have to learn their language, and then you have to earn trust from that very first day. It's a kind of understanding that doesn't come from just reading or researching what other people have done with their rabbits. It comes from being present with them every day and every night. It comes from caring for them consistently over time. Part of the learning process requires something that most people want to avoid. But if you truly want to understand rabbit care, you must be willing to look at the parts of it that are uncomfortable. That includes the images and the videos, the harsh environments these animals endure, the realities that are hard to see. Rabbits are incredibly good at hiding pain. They suffer in silence. If we only focus on the soft, pleasant side of rabbits, the cute viral videos, the gentle moments, or the holiday advertising that encourages people to impulse buy every single year, we miss the full picture of what many of these animals actually experience. Looking at those difficult realities isn't about negativity. It's about understanding how important it is to correct misinformation that has surrounded rabbit care and handling for countless years. Something that often surprises people is how varied the understanding of rabbits can actually be, even when it comes to veterinary care. Anyone working with intakes or rabbits that have been rescued learns this very early on. Veterinarians are highly trained in biology, surgery, and medical treatment. They have expertise that we do not have. But not all veterinarians have direct, hands-on experience living with rabbits in a home environment. Many of the rabbits that veterinarians see, especially in more rural areas, come from breeding operations, farm environments, or situations where rabbits have been kept in too small outdoor hutches or wire-bottom cages. Those living environments are common for most of the domestic rabbit population in this country and around the world. Because that reality persists, the veterinary perspective can sometimes be very different from someone who works on rehabilitating rabbits day to day in a home setting. The differences in understanding and experience show up in areas like understanding their behavior, recognizing emotional stress, and the ability to see invisible scars that others cannot perceive, knowing safe enrichment and appropriate toys, or even approaches to diet beyond basic feeding. While many veterinarians do excellent care, it's important for rabbit owners to continue learning and advocating for their needs, especially when it comes to comfort, recovery, and quality of life. Always insist on post-surgery pain medication for your rabbit. Don't take your rabbit to a veterinarian who would scruff them or hold them by their ears. Learn the basics of how rabbits were historically treated or mistreated, and how some of them are still treated today. Avoid anyone, regardless their expertise, who aligns with practices that are now known to cause harm. There are many compassionate veterinarians and other experts who are committed to proper care and handling of these animals. One of the most hidden realities is impulse buying. Rabbits are often purchased without a full understanding of what their care actually requires. Despite advancing, credible information about rabbits, impulse or unprepared purchasing of rabbits happens frequently around seasonal times. These are times when rabbits are often seen as easy gifts, or they're advertised as something that will excite a young child. But the reality is the child is only excited for a few moments as the gift is presented. Rabbits are not temporary animals. They should not be seen as something to entertain small children or even someone older. Rabbits are long-term, complex companions that require owners to learn about their fragile structures and prey animal nature. When expectations don't match reality, many gifted rabbits end up neglected, rehomed, or surrendered. Suffering some of those animals endure can be eliminated by proper research before bringing a rabbit into the home. People who understand the realities of rabbit care and handling often make the decision to adopt a different kind of pet, which is the best decision for anyone who is not willing to make such a big commitment. Another major issue is overcaging. For many years, rabbits have been presented as animals that belong in cages who do just fine in the backyard. But when a rabbit is confined to a small space for most of its life, suffering follows. That restriction of much-needed space affects everything, including their physical health, their mental state, and their behavior. It also affects their lifespan. Even if they live a longer life than most overcaged rabbits, the life they're given is one of endurance. It's not about health or happiness. What looks like aggression develops in rabbits as a result of frustration, fear, or even a lack of control over their living environment. There's also heat sensitivity that many people don't consider. It's often underestimated or not even a thought in many rabbit owners' minds. Rabbits cannot regulate heat the way we do. They don't sweat like we do. They are wearing a very warm fur coat that they cannot take off. They experience heat stress at the same temperatures that us humans can tolerate. We are not wearing a fur coat when it's 75 or 80 degrees outside, but they are. For them, an 80-degree day is somewhere around 100. When rabbits are kept outdoors or in environments without proper temperature control, especially in the warmer months, it's not only uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Again, rabbits suffer in silence, so most people don't give the rising temperatures a second thought. Meanwhile, the rabbit's confined and he cannot escape the heat. He can't dig underground to cool off like he would be able to do if he weren't confined. He's captive in a backyard hell in heat that's unbearable due to that thick fur coat. Backyard breeding is another area where lack of education plays a major role. Rabbits reproduce quickly. Without a clear understanding of their needs, the rabbit breeding cycle often leads to overcrowding, poor living conditions, and ongoing stress for all the animals. It's poor animal husbandry to animal lovers, but somehow these practices continue on when it comes to rabbits. All of these factors together lead to outcomes we see over and over again. Rabbits needing to be rescued. Rabbits that were misunderstood, or rabbits that were placed in environments that didn't meet their needs or caused immense silent suffering. These rabbits were forced to survive instead of feeling safe and thriving. When you begin to understand a rabbit's base nature, habits, needs, and personality, everything changes. You become fiercely loyal to communities with people who are committed to proper care and compassionate interactions. In environments where a rabbit's base nature and needs are respected, rabbit behavior makes perfect sense. Their needs become clear, and the relationship between a human and a rabbit becomes something cherished. If there's one thing you can take away, it's this. Rabbits are not simple animals. They're sensitive, intelligent, and deeply responsive to the environment around them. When we take the time to understand them and respect their needs and their base nature, we don't just improve their lives. We give them a happy, healthy, thriving life. That's the kind of life that's worth living.